Yeah. All right, guys. We'll get started real quick. It's 6:30. Thank you guys for showing up. We're getting close, halfway through the season, right? Got a lot of good ball behind us and got some more to come. So thank you guys for showing up and investing in getting better. That's how we get better, is by showing up and listening and doing things like this. So anyway, do you have anything? Good? Reports are good from the varsity secretary, so that's good. Keep that up. Steven's got a few things.
I was busy. I know, I'm going to go fast. Two things. You got an email. All of the sub-varsity assignments for the year are made. I know some of you losers will get out of some of them and make me work more. But if you have to get out of them, please do it before the night before a game, because it makes my life a whole lot easier. But for real, if you have issues with assignments, let me know, and I'll do what I can to adjust them. We're very tight most weeks. I have, especially, like if you want to get out of a game in Tyler, I'll still be your friend. But if you're like in Alto or Rusk or Elkhart, I won't like you anymore, because we don't have a lot of people that live in those areas. So it's kind of very tight down there. So if you would, check your assignments. Make sure you're checking Arbiter. We've had a couple of times where people didn't show up at a game, and y'all email me and they're like, this person didn't show up. Well, if they're on your assignment in Arbiter, it's kind of your responsibility to reach out to them. I can't babysit 150 people every Thursday night. So check your assignments in Arbiter. On the app, if they haven't accepted the game, you might not see their name, but if you go to the website and click schedule and you click your game, you'll see them even if they haven't accepted the game yet. So if you'll do that for me, I sent a text message today to every person this week that had not accepted an assignment, so for this week. So if you got a text message from me, please log in, look at your schedule, accept the games. Pay sheets have been a really big issue this year, and I don't quite understand why. We're having a hard time like filling out W-9s correctly. You need your name, your address, your social security number, your signature. Not the address of the football stadium where you're at, just your home address. Same thing. I know it's funny. It's kind of funny, but it's happened multiple times. It's happened. On your pay sheet, make sure you're checking the correct box on mileage. We've had a couple of issues with mileage in Ennis. Ennis is portal-to-portal mileage. It's outside of the third ring. So when you go to Ennis, it's how far you drive from your house to the Ennis football stadium, and depending on and back, yes, correct, and back. And depending on how many people drive, the mileage rate is different. It's on the pay sheet. If you don't drive, you get the $15 mileage rider fee. And regardless of how far you drive from Ennis, because it's more than 90 miles from the chapter center, you also get the meal fee. So if you live across the street from the Ennis football stadium, technically you're supposed to charge the meal fee. It's just a weird way the UIL system is written. But if you'll make sure you're doing that correctly and turning in pay sheets, if I have emailed you and asked you for a pay sheet, that is because a school has reached out to me and has asked me to get a pay sheet from you. If you want to get paid, please send me that pay sheet I request, because that's how you're going to get paid. I'll do everything I can to help you get paid. If you've had a game that's, way back early in the season and you're wondering, hey, all my co-officials got paid and I haven't gotten paid, let me know and I'll reach out and figure out what's going on. Do y'all have any sub-varsity questions for me? I do have one game that I need help with this week. I have a 6-man JV game. It's the easiest money you'll ever make. It's a 3-man crew, which means it's even better than the 2-man crew, 6-man. I need one official on Saturday at Pollard Park at 11 o'clock. You want it? Carl Tapley. There we go. Thank you. All right, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Even if you're on the change, you still need to call your co-official or text your co-official, because I've had that happen where even the chain guys don't know if the other guys are showing up. So it's important to communicate with your crew that week and make sure that everybody's going to be there, and if they're not, so you can make plans. So anyway, other than that, there you are, Lance. You ready, or whoever's?
I'm not going to screen, I promise you that. We're going to watch the 2 videos from the CFO Steve Shaw, some of his videos he's done the last couple weeks through the CFO, look at some plays. A lot of these are plays that we could 100% absolutely see in one of our games this week, or have seen this year, or maybe next week, but it could definitely happen in your games. If you are not a member of the CFO, I highly recommend that you become a member of the CFO. You get great material, great film, great plays to review, good philosophy information, rules. It kind of connects you with some knowledge from the college ranks, and kind of lets you know how it filters down to us. Because what you see in our UIL rule book, or NCAA rule book, and the philosophies that we go by, those are all passed down from the NCAA, right? Those all come down from the Big 12 and the SEC and all the rest of those guys, the Power Five. Well, Nick Saban basically writes our rule book. So, just an FYI, that's really how it is. No lie. But any questions? Anything weird happened? Anything interesting the last 2 weeks? We didn't have a meeting last week, so anything you guys want to talk about? Anything interesting? Any more 10-second runoffs? No? Yeah, what you got? 2 10-second runoffs in a row? Nice. I've had some really good feedback, and I've got a couple of officials that'll call me, or different officials have called me, about rules here and there. And most of them have to do with the 10-second runoff. And, one of them was, if we have a holding call on an incomplete pass, do we still have a 10-second runoff? No. We don't have a 10-second runoff on a holding call, okay? So the foul has to stop the clock immediately, the foul. So anyway, if you're unsure about those rules, and overtime also, we were staring overtime in the face this last week. Didn't get into it, thank goodness, but very well could have. If you're not sure, make sure you guys are familiar with the overtime rules, the changes last year. Really, the old overtime rules, you only get one period of the old overtime rules, where you start from the 25 and you get to kick an extra point and all that. After that, start from 25, and then we got to go for 2, and then we're putting the ball in the 3-yard line and running tries, right? So just make sure that that you guys are familiar with that. As district play gets here, it's also a good referees in the room. It's a very good idea in your pregame. I don't have it on the sheet that I gave you guys, but it's a very good idea during your pregame with these coaches to ask them about positive point districts. Does your district go by positive points? Because if you end the game in a touchdown, they may want to kick that extra point to get that extra point. It may affect a playoff seat somewhere down the road. So that's a good question to add to your pregame referees on the positive point side. Anything else that you guys want to talk about, discuss, have any questions about at all? The last 3 films that I've looked at, I put in a bulletin last week some of the things that I continue to see on film, and just little things, guys. If we're picking on little things like that, then we're doing a lot of stuff right. Okay, and I don't want anyone to think that we're picking. It's just it's more of it's the right way to do it, the mechanic way to do it. But there's little things, belt buckle the ball. That's an important thing to do. Make sure we're not moving when we're signaling. That's important to do. Don't be close enough to touch another official during live ball play. Somebody's not in the right spot. Those are all important things. But if we're picking on things like that, that means the big stuff we're handling okay. The last 3 films that I looked at, I think there was 7 or 8 blocks below the waist that I counted that we should have had a foul on that we didn't. And that is probably the hardest foul on the field, being honest, to catch. And most of it is because it changes every stinking year, it seems like, right? Blocking below the waist isn't the same now as it was 2 years ago. Now I believe, and I was talking to another official today, I believe it's the easiest way to call it is the way it sits right now. It's the easiest way to call it. That's the easiest rule to call now versus the way it's been in the past. So, and most of those, 5 of the 7 were fouls beyond 5 yards. So after 5 yards downfield, nobody can block below the waist. Not the defense, not the offense. Doesn't matter if it's 10, doesn't matter if it's 12 o'clock, doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock. They cannot cut anybody. Nobody on the field, right? Does the ball have to be 5 yards, or does the block have to be 5 yards? Which one is it? The block. So if the ball is not even to the line of scrimmage yet, and a receiver goes out and he cuts the safety down 8 yards down the field or 10 yards down the field, that is a foul. Does not matter where that football is. We can't do it more than 5 yards down the field, right? So, and the other ones are just simple staying with your keys, guys, and making sure you're seeing where your keys are going. We had a couple of guys go back towards the original position of the ball, cut a linebacker down. That, the old crackback term, that's what that is. Obviously, we can't do that. That has never been illegal in any way the rules have ever been written. That has always been an illegal block. So make sure we get those. Outside of that, guys, the blindside blocks, we're doing a very good job of picking up blindside blocks this year. And I think the ones that I've counted and looked at, they are change of possessions, right? We've talked about that. Any kind of change of possession, antennas go up, look for people swimming upstream, okay? They're head hunting. Those are the ones you're gonna get, that are gonna commit that kind of foul. We're doing a very good job of doing that. I made that comment, a flinch is a flinch, and it's also a false start, right? Holy smokes, guys, I guarantee you we're batting 1,000 on false starts right now. Like, I've watched some films and I'm like, had a false start, let me go in and who the crap moved? So I'm like zooming up slow motion and I see that guard just, that right there, and boom, here it comes. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I promise you, coaches are seeing it, people in the press box are seeing it, and they're radioing down, hey, that's a false start, the kid's moving. A flinch is a flinch, and it's a false start. Get it every single time. You guys are doing an excellent job. We are all doing an excellent job of that. So keep up the good work there. Any questions or anything, guys? I think these videos, I think it's like, 20-something minutes. We're going to watch 2 of them. Some really good plays with some really good commentary from Steve Shaw, who, big time rules guy, and good information. If y'all need anything, let me know. I'll send another bulletin out on Wednesday. We do not have a meeting next week. I think our next meeting is the 13th of October, I think. 2 weeks from tonight.
I confirmed today that the rest of our meetings will be as scheduled on Monday.
Okay. We will have a crew chief meeting, the 11th, okay. We will have a crew chief meeting, that next meeting also, okay? Crew chief, new members, and we'll get her rolling. Something, Jeremy, did you want me to talk about incident reports, or was there something else? No? Okay. Gotcha, okay. All right, y'all holler at me if y'all need anything, guys. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary of Rules Editor, and today we're presenting the 3rd of our series of in-season training videos, and we're going to focus on game action from the weekend of September 11th. Now, with 2 weeks in the book, our officiating has been very solid. Let's keep up the good work, and especially the preparation each week with your pregame. We've got to do a good job to make sure we're ready when we walk out on that field. And really good job on unsportsmanlike conduct. It was one of our points of emphasis, so let's hold the course there. We're doing a great job, and that's so important to our game. Now, we need to work on our consistency around targeting, especially crown of the helmet hits. And so this is an area that I want you to keep working on. We're going to have a couple plays on this video this week, and we're going to be working with the coordinators to ensure consistency nationally. That's so important to our game. But one thing we get asked about a lot is the definition of crown of the helmet. And just so we're all on the same page, we're going to use our helmet here and recover our definition of crown of the helmet. So the crown of the helmet is the area above the circumference that begins right above where the face mask is bolted onto the helmet. And it goes around the helmet here, and so it's this top area. It's not just the button, it's this top area, but certainly not the sides as well. So let's all be on the same page as we look at these crown of the helmet hits. So with that, let's get straight into some video plays. Our first play this week, we've got a 3rd and 5 situation, and the quarterback's going to drop back to pass, step up in the pocket, and then he takes off running. He's going to easily make the first down, continue upfield, and then he's going to head to the boundary and stride out of bounds. We see a big hit by number 8 of the defense, and we get both the line judge and field judge with markers down for a late hit out of bounds. Now, when we go back and take a look at it and slow it down, the quarterback may technically not have been out of bounds, as his right foot is still in bounds, and as he strides out of bounds, number 8 hits him before the left foot technically touches down. Even so, in this situation, the quarterback has given himself up and is striding out of bounds, and the hit by number 8 is unnecessary and late, and this is a really good call for a dead ball personal foul. Good work by the crew. Play 2, we're deep into the fourth quarter, and the offense faces a big 3rd and 10 situation. Now, the quarterback's going to take the snap, look downfield, and again is going to take off running and is going to make the first down. But we have a marker down by our center judge, a holding call on the left guard, number 75. Now, we're going to get a really good replay of this, and we're going to see that the left guard, 75, he gets beat to the outside right off the snap. But he really recovers by pushing the defender past the pocket, past the quarterback, and we don't see any grab of the jersey, no hook, really no restriction by the blocker. And if there's no material restriction on this play, then it's not a quality foul for holding. So make it be there before we get the marker out. Play 3, we get a short pass underneath. It's caught by number 2 of the offense, and as he transitions to a runner, he's hit and down by number 1 of the defense. Now, there's no call on the field, but both players are hurt. Now, eventually, the offensive player is going to get himself back up and walk away, but the tackler stays down. Now, with the injury, replay has plenty of time to take a look at this hit. In our first replay, we can make the case the receiver is still defenseless. But we see number 1 lowers the head and leads with the head, so there's an indicator of targeting here. And our next angle is a low reverse angle, and you can clearly see number 1 attacks with the crown of his helmet into the back of the receiver. So with an indicator and forcible contact with the crown of the helmet to an opponent, this is a targeting foul we should create and replay if we don't put the marker down on the field. And this is the type play that we want out of the game. It injures the tackler and a technique that we must get correct. On play 4, we have a couple things worthy of discussion here. So number 1, we get a pass toward the boundary, and the ruling on the field is going to be an interception. Now, we see number 2 beginning to celebrate on the field, and he's going to continue this celebration into the boundary, mugging for the cameras outside the team area with a few of his teammates, and we get a marker down for unsportsmanlike conduct. So good job there. Now, we know replay is going to take a look to confirm the turnover, and we get a low end zone view that really shows that number 2 goes down to intercept the ball, and he gets his hands under the ball, but he does not get firm control. The nose of the ball is going to hit the ground, and then number 2 is going to gather it back up. But this is not a catch, and this is a good overturn of the interception. Now, we're going to get an announcement from our referee.
After reviewing the play, the pass was incomplete, therefore it is no interception. However, after the play, there was unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench, the entire bench for Coastal Carolina. That will be the team's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. That carries a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It'll be Kansas, 1st and 10.
Now, good job on the announcement of the incomplete pass. But we announce unsportsmanlike conduct for the entire team. And let's work here to identify the numbers of the guilty parties. This is not a type situation where we would assign UNS to the entire team. Most of the team didn't participate in the celebration. That's really reserved for situations where the team comes out on the field in a rumble, or a situation where there's so many involved we can't get the numbers. But in this type situation, we should not assign this to the entire team. This should be assigned to the individuals that participated in the unsportsmanlike act. Play 5, we have a throw over the middle. It's complete to number 3 of the offense, and then we're going to see 33 of the defense. He's going to wrap up the receiver and then lift him off the ground and slam him back into the ground. Now, we get a flag from our umpire, and this is a suplex type move, an act that is not common to the game. In fact, I've never seen a tackling drill include this type action. And as we get another look, this is unnecessary roughness, and it's clearly an attempt to punish the opponent, and no question it's a personal foul. This is a good call by the umpire and a good job by the crew to come in and maintain law and order. So a correct call, and a call that we must make every time. Play 6, the quarterback takes the snap, drops back. He's going to step up with pressure, and then he appears to throw the ball down the field. Now, there's no whistle from the crew, and the crew works the play to completion. But this looks like an incomplete forward pass, judging from the initial view at real speed. Now, this can be a tough call, so it's a good job by the crew to have a slow whistle, evaluate the play, and if there's any question, let the play go through. But we're going to get a look from the referee's perspective, and we can see that the ball is dislodged by a defender from the quarterback's hand before any forward movement of the hand with firm control of the ball. And even though the ball is pushed forward, this is just a fumble, and it's good recognition by the crew to let this play out. Very good work. Play 7, we're near the end of the half and in the red zone, and the quarterback's going to take the snap, spin out, and he's going to throw to number 45 in the end zone for a touchdown with 4 seconds remaining. Now, 45 is going to go to the back corner of the end zone, take his helmet off, and also number 12 is going to come down from the team area without a helmet. So we get a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's good judgment for one unsportsmanlike conduct foul, but we're going to identify both players in the announcement. So we get the announcement from the referee.
After the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 45 and number 12. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. This is both players' first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
Now, let's remember in these type situations, and let's be sure to get the coach's choice. Now, with 4 seconds left, the coach would probably rather push them back on the try, and that's what he does. But we're going to get a corrected announcement stating that the 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the try. So let's be patient here. And just for your info, as we look at the extra point, it is no good. So the unsportsmanlike conduct foul cost the team 1 point. And one final point of note, this is a good call on the try by the field judge, but we can see that the ball is higher than the top of the uprights, so this kick would not be reviewable by replay. Play 8 is actually a 2-play vignette, and it's going to be focused on one of our points of emphasis for the season, taunting. Now, the first play, the offense completes a short pass to the back who's released out. He tries to leap an opponent unsuccessfully and is tackled by 21 and 5 of the defense. Then we see number 21 stand over the runner and taunt him. We get a reaction from 68 and 86 from the offense. They come over to assist, but this is a good call by our line judge for unsportsmanlike conduct against number 21. This helps get this whole situation shut down and prevents further issues. Good job. Now, the second play is very similar. The offense completes a short pass over the middle, and number 2 of the defense makes a tackle. Then he stands over the opponent and taunts him. We again see number 72 of the offense. He comes up to defend his teammate, and then we get a flag from the headline judge penalizing number 2 of the defense for taunting. The crew does a good job of being a presence to ensure we calm the situation, and the flag helps settle this entire issue. Good job. Play 9, we get a throw downfield by the quarterback that's completed, and we have a flag down by our referee for a personal foul, roughing the passer. Now, after the first review, it's clearly a correct call for roughing the passer, but replay is going to stop the game to review this action for targeting. Now, we see the defender, number 4, he leaps up to block the pass, and he does have contact with the quarterback's helmet. Remember, the rule requires replay to confirm all aspects of targeting to create the targeting foul from the booth or to confirm targeting. We do have a defenseless player here, but the other 2 elements are debatable. The defender really doesn't launch or attack, probably tilts his head forward a tad as he's coming down. And the contact to the head of the quarterback, it's there, but the question is it forcible? We see the hands out as well. This would have probably been a stance before we changed the rule in 2019 to require all elements of targeting to be confirmed to make this a targeting foul. And so this play is tight, but the indicator and the forcible contact to the head or neck area cannot be absolutely confirmed, so replay correctly did not add targeting. Our last play this week, we've got a punting situation, and the defense is going to block the punt. And as the ball is rolling free behind the line, number 22 of the defense is going to clearly push number 32 of the kicking team squarely in the back and then go recover the ball. Now, we get this type action on test questions a lot, but we rarely see this on the field. Now, we know Rule 936 makes it illegal to block an opponent in the back, but there are exceptions, and Exception 3 states that when a player attempts to reach a runner or legally attempts to recover or catch a fumble backward pass, a kick, or a touch forward pass, they may push an opponent in the back above the waist. So number 22 is clearly trying to recover this kick. So this is a good no call for a block in the back. Good job on a very unusual situation. Well, that's it for our plays this week. And I want to tell you again, I appreciate the good work. Let's keep the momentum going. And let's make sure that we cover in our pregame quality fouls, make it be there. Be good dead ball officials and be crisp in everything we do, from our game management, our ball movement. Be crisp, no walking on the field. And finally, display integrity, courage, and poise. That is so important. Let's us take care of the tight situations, keep calm, keep order in our games, and let's do our best. So I appreciate your time with this video, and best of luck. Stay safe and healthy. Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary of Rules Editor. And today we're presenting the fourth in our series of in-season training videos for 2021. And we're going to be focusing on game action from the weekend of September 18th. Now, I want to talk about targeting again. Obviously, the most important call that we'll make, and probably the most important player safety rule that we have. But we still have a media buzz out there around targeting. It all started on that Labor Day game night where we had 4 correctly confirmed targeting calls. But as we go back and look at the data, our run rate for this year is right on our last year's season number. In fact, through the first 3 weeks, we're averaging 0.25 targeting calls per game. That's 1 in every 4 games. So the run rate's not up. But what is different is the number of calls that are crown of the helmet. So 913, crown of the helmet, 3 out of every 4 targeting fouls are now crown of the helmet. Now, it's early data. This will balance out over the season, but that may be contributing to the buzz. And fans just don't get 913. They can see targeting a defenseless player, but crown of the helmet, sometimes they just don't get. So in an effort to help highlight that, we want to make a change. So listen up to this. We want to make a change on our referee announcement after a targeting review that is confirmed and is 913. So basically, we want the referee to say, after review, targeting with the crown of the helmet is confirmed. Number 21 is disqualified. So if we'll add that statement in there of targeting with the crown of the helmet is confirmed, it'll help highlight that we're not just looking for this big helmet-to-helmet hit. And I think this will help us with our fan view of this call. So let's make that change this week. And with that, let's get straight on into our plays. We're going to start this week with a 2-play vignette, and we're going to be looking at ineligible receivers downfield and offensive pass interference. Now, this first play, we're going to snap at the 4, and we can see right guard 55. He's going to fire out and make contact with a linebacker about 3 yards downfield, and then he's going to continue driving him at least 3 yards into the end zone as the ball goes overhead. Now, we do get a call for an eligible receiver downfield, but let's consider offensive pass interference in this situation. And we know by rule it is not offensive pass interference if a Team A ineligible player immediately charges and contacts an opponent at a point not more than 1 yard beyond the neutral zone and maintains the contact for no more than 3 yards beyond the neutral zone. But this contact does not fall into that category. In play 2, very similar, we're going to snap at the plus 24, and we see that the snapper is going to fire out, and he's going to block the linebacker starting at about the 21 and then continuously contacting him inside the 18 when the ball's released. And we're going to see the safeties actually drawn up on this action as well. The pass goes over their head, and clearly this is a foul for an eligible receiver downfield. But again, we need to consider offensive pass interference on this play. Play 2, we've got a snap to the quarterback. He's going to fake play action and then immediately is under duress as he drops back. And he's going to scramble around, giving up significant ground, and then throws the ball way downfield, certainly across the line, but into an area where there are no eligible receivers. Now, we see the headline judge immediately react and head toward the referee to give the referee all the information, that the pass crossed the neutral zone, but there was no receiver in the area. The referee determines that the quarterback was in the tackle box, so we put the marker down for intentional grounding. Now, as we go back and look from the end zone, we see that the edge of the tackle box is midway through the word Cajuns in the Ragin' Cajun logo. And the quarterback's going to scramble well beyond the tackle box, but then he's going to work back in, and he actually throws from back in the tackle box. But remember, if the quarterback is or has been outside the tackle box and he gets the ball across the line, then there's no foul for grounding. So once out of the tackle box, always out. But referees, this is your primary responsibility here. But center judge, you should also have an opinion on this. Both of you are responsible for the passer behind the line. Center judge, can you help the referee out here? Play 3 is a kickoff, and the receiver fields the ball just outside the 5 and brings it back upfield. And then we get a huge hit by number 22 of the kicking team right at the 20-yard line. And there's no call on the field, but the big hit alerts replay. And our first view of the hit is really enough to have the instant replay official stop the game. Now, as we get further views, we're going to look from the end zone, probably the best view. And so we know the runner's not defenseless, but we're going to see number 22 come over, lower his head, lead with his head, so we have an indicator, and then he's going to attack the runner with the crown of his helmet. And the contact is really into the shoulder and neck area of the return man, maybe clip the face mask, but with the indicator and forcible contact to the opponent with the crown of the helmet, that's all we need. This is confirmed as a targeting foul initiated from the booth. Good job. Play 4 is another kickoff play, and during the kick, we get a fair catch signal by number 82 of the receiving team. He drifts back into the end zone, and then he's going to muff the kick, and the ball lands in the end zone and rolls out into the field of play and out of bounds just short of the 1. Now, this is a good job by our line judge, very patient. He kills the clock and gets the spot where the ball went out of bounds. By rule, we know if the ball lands in the end zone untouched by the receivers, the play is dead and we have a touchback. But here, the player muffs the kick, and so the ball is live. If the receiver gets on it in the end zone, or if the ball were to roll out of bounds in the end zone, then it would simply be a touchback. But when the ball goes back into the field of play, it remains live and anyone can recover it. Now, since the ball went out of bounds, it will belong to the receiving team at the inbound spot. And we can see the next snap is from just inside the 1. So this is really good recognition on the field. Good job. Play 5 is a 2-play vignette as we head into the third extra period of a tied game. Now, the score is 31-31 after 2 extra periods, and we're well over 200 plays into this game. And we remember our rule change for this year. When we get to the third extra period, the possession series for each team is a 1-play, 2-point try from the 3-yard line. Now, the home team has the ball first. They're going to run a gadget play, and they complete a pass in the end zone, good for 2 points. And now the score is 33-31, and the visitors get their opportunity. Now, they're going to throw a pass, rule complete on the field, to apparently tie the game at 33-33. Replay is going to take a look at the catch, and we're going to see from the end zone view that the receiver gets his hands under the ball, but he does not gain firm control, and the ball actually hits the ground. And the look down the goal line, you can really see that the ball is out and hits the ground as the receiver rolls over. So replay is going to correctly overturn this to an incomplete pass, and now the game is over. The final score, 33-31. Well done. Play 6, we've got 2nd and 15, and we're going to get a quick pass behind the neutral zone to the slot receiver, number 5, and he turns it upfield, and we see he's hit and tackle. The ball comes out, and his helmet comes completely off. Now, the defense is signaling that they have the ball, but as we go back and take a look at the low end zone view, we're going to see that the helmet comes completely off, and then the defender, number 41, strips the ball before the player is technically down. So good work by the crew to recognize that the helmet came off first, they kill the play, and we're going to set up for third down. Now, we know that number 5 must go out for one play unless his team buys him back in with a timeout. But this is a good job by the crew on the field. And remember, this is a play that would be reviewable by instant replay. Play 7, we have a 3rd and 6 situation. And the quarterback's going to hand to the tailback, and he's going to break it to the outside. Now, tailback drives for the line to gain, which is the 30, and the line judge is going to mark the runner down at the line to gain for a first down. Now, the line feed indicates that this is very, very close. And as we begin to get replays, we see the first replay is a low end zone behind the defense. Not helpful to see the line to gain, but what we can see is the right shin and knee goes down first, and the ball is back behind the runner. The next view is behind the runner. Again, not helpful to the line to gain, but we see the ball position clearly back behind the runner. And then finally, we get the best shot showing that the ball is clearly short of the line to gain when the runner is down. Now, replay comes in, is going to overturn this to short of a first down, but we wait for a coach's challenge. And this is one, there's enough smoke to get into this without having to make the coach challenge to get us in. And so it was a good job of overturning, but let's be ready to take over on this. And especially using our multi-view, we may be able to go get the best view of this without having to wait for the replays. So good job ultimately getting to the right spot, but let's take control of this replay. Play 8 is a sequence where we skip a down. And really, this just can't happen if we have 8 officials on the field independently keeping the down and replay staying alert to the down as well. Now, what we're going to see is on the first down play, we get a throw downfield, and there's no receiver in the area. And the deeps report this back into the referee, which is proper. Now, remember, by rule, we need 2 components for intentional grounding. The rule says that it's grounding if the passer, to conserve yardage, throws the ball forward into an area where there's no eligible Team A receiver. Now, we measure conserve yardage component as the quarterback being under duress. And that's a judgment call that's really best made on the field, but I really don't see duress here. And as you see the release point, it is really a clean pocket. But we're going to come together, talk it through, and rule grounding. Now, unfortunately, the box had already flipped to 2. And with the loss of down in the announcement, we announced third down. And so after the next play, which is close to the line to gain, we go to fourth down. Now, the coach is trying to make his case for third down, and we do stop the game, come together, and talk it through, but we reassert it's fourth down, and then the offense punts. Now, after the punt, we go to a TV timeout, and by rule, we know that the number of a down may be corrected at any time within that series of downs or before the ball is legally next put in play after that series. So we could have, during the TV timeout, corrected this and gone back and replayed what we call fourth down as third down. And so remember that let's stay involved in downs, every official on every play. It is so important. Play 9, we're going to get a quick pass out into the flat. And as the receiver is driving for the goal line, we're going to get a targeting call on the field by our headline judge. Now, replay is going to come in to review this. And so the first thing we must do is determine, is the runner defenseless in this situation? And as we see, the runner is not down, and he's still driving for the goal line. Actually, we see the runner drive his right shoulder in the ball for the goal. And so he's still making progress and not defenseless. And so if the runner's not defenseless, the crown of the helmet is the only targeting category that's in play here. And we can see clearly right down the goal line from the pylon cam that there's no crown of the helmet involved in this hit. So this is a play that from replay we should overturn as no targeting. Our last play this week is a quick reminder to umpires and center judge to always be alert to the ball position, especially after the offense comes off the ball. So what we see here is a second and goal situation, 3 seconds left in the half. The center's going to come up and get set, and then the offense is going to come up and get on the ball, and then the defense will call timeout. Now, the umpire does a good job here to check out the ball position and actually reset the ball back to its proper position. Now, it wasn't a big deal here on this play, but many times our centers kick the ball forward and then lay it back down when they call timeout or move off the ball. So let's always make sure that we recheck ball position when the offense moves off the ball. So little things matter. Well, that's it for our plays this week, and let's use these plays to spark crew discussions in our pregame preparation. And let's get ready to go this week. Full focus and concentration when we hit the field. Quality fouls, great communications with coaches, players, and your crewmates, and let's work to be the best team on the field. Best of luck, God bless, and stay safe and healthy.
Questions or comments on any of that? Concerns that you have? No? All right. Have a good rest of the week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Crew chief meeting, new members meeting, and general meeting. Thank you, guys.